Hello, good morning, happy Monday. For those of you who have never caught me live before, my name is Jewel, and I am a grateful recovering addict of 9 years. I'll celebrate 9 years in August of this year. I'm gonna go live with my brother-in-law Joe as soon as he gets on. We're probably gonna read the gist for today, and then we can talk about anything else anybody needs to discuss. Hey Amanda, how are you? Just waiting for Joe to get on. Um, Not sure if he has a plan of what he wants to discuss. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Brandy. I just want to remind everybody that this is on my public page so that if you comment, just be mindful of that. Let me see. There's Joe. Okay. Yeah, we haven't, Amanda, we haven't been on either because Joe and his wife just moved sick last week, actually. So we haven't been live. So you haven't missed us necessarily. Um, hey, Joe.
What's up? What's up, y'all?
So I'll read the gist for today. Brandy, you said you have 37 days clean today. That's awesome. Hey, Jamie. I'm hoping that the pollen doesn't like completely cover my camera while I'm out here. It's awful. Okay, so you want me to start with the gist for today, Joe? We didn't really have a plan, so other than
Yeah, go ahead.
okay.
I mean, this is our first live in like how long?
I know. Do you have your wife up on Messenger Bubble? Can you tell her we're live now so she can share it while I read? Okay.
I'll share it for
Okay. 5 months, Amanda. That's exciting. I feel like that's when we started these, right? Okay. All right. Not even close to pollen here. Let me tell you what, it is awful. We have a white car, and my husband has literally been like, he'll wash it and then he's got to wipe it down like every day. So it's been rough, and the pollen count has been extremely high. I'm just over it. So okay, April 22nd, traveling the open road. This is our road to spiritual growth. Basic text, page 37. When we arrived at our first NA meeting, it looked like the end of the road to many of us. We weren't going to be able to use it anymore. We were spiritually bankrupt. Most of us were totally isolated and didn't think we had much to live for. Little did we realize that as we began our program of recovery, we were stepping onto a road of unlimited possibilities. At first, just not using was tough enough. Yet, as we watched other addicts working the steps and applying those principles in their lives, we began to see that recovery was more than just not using. The lives of our NA friends had changed. They had a relationship with the God of their understanding. They were responsible members of the fellowship and of society. They had a reason to live. We began to believe these things were possible for us too. As we continue our recovery journey, we can get sidetracked by complacency, intolerance, or dishonesty. When we do, we need to recognize the signs quickly and get back on our path, the open road to freedom and growth. Just for today, I'm continuing to develop my spiritual, social, and general living skills by applying the principles of my recovery. I can travel as far as I wish on the open road of recovery. Ooh, Lele. Oh. Okay, Joe, you can go ahead and start.
So what's the punchline?
So the punchline, I am continuing to develop my spiritual, social, and general living skills by applying the principles of my program. I can travel as far as I wish on the open road of recovery.
Okay. So basically what it's saying is it's up to you how far you want to go with it. You know, if you want to however far you want to make it, it's all up to you. It's about that thing called choice
Yeah.
and all the choices that we make in life. Um all the thoughts that we let, consume our mind and to me that's the number one thing is, to our thoughts. You know, what do we think about? You know, what's going through our head? What do we let bother us? What do we let get to us?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the bulk of it. Um, you know, it's part of you being your own worst enemy. Um,
Yeah.
and for a lot of addicts and alcoholics, you know, they can get real blamey. They
Mm.
like to blame everybody
Yeah.
else for their shit. You know, they like, you know, it's part of that whole, you know, why I don't like the whole disease thing. Um, a lot of people like to just pass over the blame and blame other shit and their circumstances, like their life is so much harder than everybody else's who's not using and drinking and doing drugs.
Right.
That's called life. And when you use and you drink for so long, you forget how to cope with your day-to-day life. You forget how to cope with normal shit that you shouldn't be letting get you down and get you all worked up over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I let zero things bother me today.
Mhm.
Um, Literally nothing bothers me anymore. And that's one of the biggest things that keep me sober is, you know, I used to, it's funny because like when I was drinking, I would seek out shit to piss me off or
Yeah.
to fuck my day up or ruin my mood so that way I would have an excuse. You know, I would create arguments with my wife, so I'm like, oh fuck her, and I'll go out and drink with my boys, and I don't care what, you know,
Right.
because we're arguing, correct? You know, we don't like each other.
Yeah.
Um, and at the time, you know, she was the only thing that was influencing me to be sober. Nobody else really, I mean, other than like my grandmother, but that's, you know, that's your grandmother.
Right.
You're not really gonna worry about her. She's gonna worry about you no matter what you're doing.
Right.
So really, the only person that didn't like me drinking was my wife. So if I create a problem with her, then I have an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have to feel bad about I don't have to feel bad about, you know, what she does. Or, hey, come on now, don't get sidetracked because I will get talking all day. Um, but I don't have to worry about making her upset or feeling guilty if, you know, I come up with a reason as to why she pissed me off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, to me, it's it's funny because like when I got sober, it's like everything improved in my life almost overnight.
Yeah.
Um, you know, my my thought process got better. The way I looked at life got better. Um, the way I cope with things got better. My attitude got better. Um, it was it just seems like everything got better.
Yeah.
So, and all my relationships improved. What's that squeaking noise? Is Russell on the swing?
No, Joe, that's the birds.
Oh, they need to shut up.
They are lively in the morning, okay?
But yeah. So anyway, so when I got sober, everything improved. Um, I didn't find myself in compromising, you know, circumstances. I didn't find myself doing things that I regret. I didn't I didn't find myself arguing. You know, I can't even tell you the last time that my wife and I have had a real argument.
Right.
Um, you know, we're happy pretty much together 24/7. Um, we don't have any issues anymore. And it was funny because, you know, there was a point in time, we've been together for a long time. We've been together for like 13 years or some shit like that. And, you know, there was a point in time, you know, 8 years in, 10 years in, it's like, man, I don't know if this shit's for me. I don't know if this is going to work. And the reason why I didn't know if it was going to work is because she had expectations for me that I didn't want to fulfill, that I didn't want to be held accountable for. She wanted me to, you know, play my role to my best ability instead of just being less than, you know, instead of just,
Well,
you
because
know,
she saw more in you than you probably saw in yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, you know, like I said, you know, for me, everything in life came pretty easy and I did pretty good just skating by. So I never really applied myself. You know, I would, I would be drunk all the time. And if I crashed my car, I'd have a way to go get another one. If I crash that car, I'd find a way to go get another car. If I lost my license, I drive on the back roads. Or I catch a ride or I walk. Or I get my wife to take me where I need to go.
Right.
If I went to jail, then whatever. I'd be all right when I got home. My wife will hold down the house till I got home. And then, if I just always could come up with a way to just get by, and I didn't really have to worry about hitting a rock bottom. So for me, I had to take my rock bottom and raise it up a little bit to my expectations of who I'm really supposed to be.
Yeah.
Some people they never hit rock bottom because they can always get by.
Functioning.
I'm not the alcoholic. Yeah, I'm not the alcoholic that was ever homeless or
Right.
you know, begging for money or on the street corner with a sign. Or
Right.
I never got to that point because part of why I felt like I deserved to get fucked up is because I could keep up appearances.
Right.
So, it took me a really long time to realize that, you're at rock bottom, you just don't realize it.
Right.
This is no offense to anybody, but you working at fast food restaurants, that's your rock bottom because you had a college, you were given a college education. I had a chance. I was in college and I pissed it away because I wanted to drink more. I wanted to drink more and go home and hang out more than I wanted to be in school.
Right.
And I still managed to get good grades in college. I think when I dropped out, I had like a 3.2 GPA and I never even went to class.
Right.
And I was drunk all the time. It was like, and that's just part of it. And that was feeding my ego. That was just feeding my ego of saying like, oh yeah, I can do this shit. I don't need to stop because I'm still getting by. Look at this.
Right.
I still have a car. I still have a place to live. I'm still in school. Blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. It took me a while, and I thought I was enjoying life then, and now I realize this is really the meaning of life. I'm really enjoying life now. And you're right, Jamie. It takes a lot of practice because, when you drink, James Smith. Yeah, for me, it's not really just working in fast food, but it was me just settling and never wanting to progress. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about the job. It was about the fact that I had so many opportunities to do other things,
Right.
or I could have took my college career serious and did what I wanted to do in school, and I could have been somewhere else. But because of drinking, I didn't do it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not throwing salt at fast food work because I worked in kitchens my entire life.
Right.
So I'm not saying that. And I said that right before I said the statement. What I'm saying is that I had to realize that I'm capable of more than that. You know what I mean? I don't have to keep settling for a job that'll hire somebody with a record or hire somebody who gets drunk at work, because them jobs, they don't care. If you work in a restaurant, people, they don't care if you're fucked up as long as you clock in and clock out when you're supposed to.
Right.
They don't care. But when you get a different type of job, they're gonna have different type of expectations for you. They're not just gonna take anybody.
Right.
Because when I was coming out of high school, I had a paid ride to go to school, and I went to school and dropped out. I went to school for 2 years and dropped out, and so that's why I'm saying, like, I had a chance to do something else, but because I was drinking and I wasn't focusing on what I needed to do, the only thing that was left for me was just skating by with factory work or fast food jobs, because that's the only jobs that I could live my lifestyle and keep. You understand what I'm saying? That's the only job that I could show up drunk and still do my job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not get bitched at by anybody because they're all on the same type of time I am. So yeah, that's what I meant by that. But like I said, I've been working in restaurants since I was like 14, 15. So, and I like to cook, so it's nothing like that. But you only get one opportunity at certain things, and if you blow it, you miss that boat. You know what I mean? So you got to find a new path, and you got to do something else. And now I'm kind of doing my writing thing and doing my fitness thing, and I'm kind of finding my new way now after the mess and all the dust has settled down.
Yeah.
and I've realized that, you know, I can do whatever I want just because, you know, I had a bad past or whatever. It doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing anything that I want to do.
Exactly.
And you know, to not stray too far away, I would say the number one thing that I think about when I hear the topic of the just for today is your thoughts. That's the number one thing that you have to control, your thoughts.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. All the outside noise is just noise. Um, and it's all up to you. The ball's always going to be in your court, and your thoughts are going to determine whether you stay clean and sober.
Yeah.
And you know, it's as simple as, you know, when you have some bad thoughts, you know, share it out with somebody, talk to somebody you trust. Um, you know, don't just throw it out into the world. You know, find somebody that you can depend on, that you know is going to give you some good information, that's going to tell you the right things, and go to that person. Don't wait.
Yeah.
You know, don't hesitate, because you know the little bit of time it takes you to wait around to decide if you want to make that phone call or not can be the complete difference of whether you stay clean that day or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just the way I look at it.
There was
Um and I would say number two thing is stop blaming people. Take that blame away, because um I know with my mom, one of the key things when she decided she was trying to get clean, one of the key things I would look for during her recovery would be, is she starting to get into drama? That was the number one thing I would watch for, because as soon as she got consumed by everybody else's shit and she got into the drama and she started complaining and she started saying, I don't like this about this or that about that, I'm like, it's not going to be long now. She's going to be fucking up,
yeah.
because that's the cycle you start. You know, you create a tornado around you, so then you have a reason to run away from it.
And
You know what I mean?
you know, and I feel like this last time there were a couple times when she would start to get caught up. Like, I'm not gonna name names, but there was one girl that she would be so consumed with, and I would literally say to her on the phone, like, I called to talk to Wendy about Wendy, not about so and so. You know what I mean? So it was like,
Yeah, exactly.
but it was easy for her to it was easier for her this time, I feel like, to kind of step back and see what I was saying. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
She would get upset over little things like the dishes and, you know, just the house being a mess. And I'm just like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you have options. You can either clean it up, because that's probably what you're going to do, or you can just let it the fuck go. So, but I wanted to comment when you said about when you were talking about your thoughts, because there was a girl yesterday that I noticed who posted in a recovery group, and she was on the Suboxone program, and she was trying to find the best way to get off of it, because in the fall she wants to start nursing school. And there was one comment that stood out to me, because one person commented, um, so she didn't say all it takes is a mind made up, but basically she said it was all mental. It was a really big mental game. Um, and that really stood out to me, because I was going to comment and say, well, it really depends on the type of person you are. Because if you're a type of person that needs structure, then going to nursing school is only going to help you, because it's all structured. You know what I mean? You have to be here at this time. You have to be at this class at this time. You have to be at clinicals at this time. You know what I mean? It's all schedule based. Um, so I just wanted to comment on that. The dishes.
Yeah, and it was funny because, like, for her, my mom's biggest thing was she messed her back up when we were kids, and that was her biggest thing, was her pain. You know what I'm saying? And
She had real pain.
my belief is, you know, once the cycle of addiction starts, my belief is we escalate a lot of our pain, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, whatever. We exaggerate it more than what it really is. So people take pity on us, so they don't judge us when we are drinking or drugging or self-medicating. And it was funny how I could watch the switch. You know, I could see her. I could see her after she was clean and she was serious about being clean, and she wasn't on any narcotics or opiates or nothing like that. And she might have had some pain, but she knew, she started to realize, like, I can cope with this shit more than I really think. What's up, Russell?
Who's that? I don't know that you can
What's up, man?
see, but he literally just woke up. He's got lines on his face from where he was sleeping.
He'll sleep all day if you let him.
You see Uncle Joe? You say hi, Uncle Joe?
But yeah, so anyway, you know, but when she was using, you know, when she was doing dope and shit, you know, she'd show up to my house and she'd be like all hunched over and, you know, she couldn't even walk. But then I seen her when she was clean and everything was fine. You know, it was like you're just, you know, you're exaggerating it so that way everybody feels sorry for you, and you use your pain and your situation to mask what you're really doing. And it's the same thing with emotional pain and mental pain and everything else.
Okay, say bye to Uncle Joe and then go back in the house.
The only reason I came out here was to see Leanna.
She's not on there, honey.
Oh, try!
Hey, close the door back here.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing, you know, is I when I think about it, I think about controlling your thoughts and avoiding excuses. If you catch yourself starting to blame other people for whatever situation, snap out of it and realize, you know, I'm in control more than I'm giving myself credit for.
Yeah.
And you have the choice to use, just like you have the choice to let something bother you or not. How much can you endure? And that's like the biggest thing when you're getting into recovery, is build up your endurance to just general life, because you've lived in a haze for so long that you ain't been dealing with life, you've been running from it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now that life is smacking you in the face because you're sober or you're clean for it, you don't know how to handle it. Just let it just roll with the flow. Just go with the flow. Don't roll with the punches. Don't get so worked up about, you know, minuscule shit that everybody else around you is dealing with.
Yeah. It's funny because I have a hard time, like one of my defaults is making excuses, and
Say that again.
like a lot of times the excuses are warranted, you know, like whatever it is, but regardless, it's still an excuse. And it's funny because most of you know that I host recovery awareness events. When I host these events, I do all this planning. You know, sometimes I'm planning for a year or, you know, at least a good 4 months. And I'm putting so much into it. Like literally every day I'll be doing different things, or, you know, to get ready for the event. But when the day comes, little things don't bother me. Like I go into this mode. Excuse me, are you done? When I go into the event, like okay, for example, this last one, my photographer, her baby was sick and she was supposed to come. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to have anybody to take pictures, even though we did have, you know, Sherry had a camera so she could take pictures. But like once the day gets there, it's easy for me to block everything else out. It's easy for me to not let the little stuff get to me. And the little stuff is still something that gets to me often. You know, like somebody leaving Leanna's Easter basket in Crumpton. Like that really bothered me. And I mean, what does it matter? Because she's not going to remember. You know, she's probably forgot about it already. Little things still get to me. So that's something I still have to work on. And it's easier.
She would have ripped it up like she did the one we bought her. She already started ripping it up. You didn't see it was tore up already?
No, it looked like it was
It already had
perfect shape.
She already tore a piece off of it as soon as she put it in her hands. I bought her one and she ripped the ears off of it before we even got out of the store, before I even paid for it.
Well, if I'd have known that we were going to take her to the store and she picked that little Peppa Pig purse thing out, I wouldn't have got a regular Easter basket because I could have literally just put everything in that little purse.
But another thing too is like, I know it's like ex-addicts or alcoholics or whatever you want to call it. When you get into recovery, a lot of us, I don't know how it is for everybody, but I know how it is for my mom. I know how it was for me. A lot of people just stay so busy. They rush. And it's good to stay busy to a degree, But at the same time, think about it like this: like, you ever been in a rush and you forgot something, or you ever been in a rush, a big hurry for no reason, and you dropped something and broke it, or you cut yourself, or you fell down. Think about that with your recovery too. Sometimes we need to just slow down a little bit and just enjoy, breathe in the air a little bit. You know what I mean? Give yourself a minute to, because what are you going to do? Because for me, I was always in a hurry. I got all this shit done in 1 year, and I was busting my ass. I was hustling. I was getting all this shit done. And then I got left one day by myself, and I collapsed under that because I finally had to sit still with nobody else around me and nothing to do. And it was like, oh shit, I wasn't ready for the slowdown. You know what I mean? And sometimes life will come to a stop, and you have to be able to deal with it. So,
You have to be able to
take some time.
yourself.
Yeah, take some time to just slow down and, not be on the chase all the time, because you're carrying some of that old baggage with you. That's, you were always on the chase. You're always thinking about the next party or the next bottle or the next drug or whatever and how you were going to get it. And so don't carry that same baggage over with you. Slow down and enjoy life a little bit.
And I feel like it's easier to stay on the go, like in that go mode when you have kids and a family. Yes, Jamie, I'll sit out here and smoke this whole pack. Don't play with me.
Hey, Jamie, we call her Smokestack Sally. She'll smoke a whole damn pack.
I will. I have a meeting this morning, Jamie, and I wasn't anxious about it until like now. So, but not that that would make a difference because I still probably would be on my second or third cigarette by now. And you missed, Jamie. We did a live video one time, and I said that's why I like doing these kinds of meetings because I can smoke when I want to. I don't have to get up and go leave. So
Probably wouldn't be able to get through a meet.
that's not true. I used to. I went to meetings all the time before. First off, the meeting is outside. Okay, we're having the meeting at the park, and I'm almost like rethinking that because it's only gonna make my allergies worse. But I'm meeting it's not like that. I am meeting a young lady who I'm hoping to convince to go into a sober living house. So I'm excited. I already sent some messages to see if anybody local to us that's why I messaged you the other day, remember, Friday night, I think it was. I already found a couple places that have open beds. I already got approval from Sherry about helping pay her entry fee in her first week. So I kind of have some things together. I think I'm just nervous now because it's almost time. So I know. Well, Wendy wanted to take me to a women's meeting in Easton. But I don't know which one it was. So.
All right, it's time to do some shameless plugs real quick. So anybody that knows, Jewel just did her event, and she's doing another one in August. It's going to be in Chestertown at the Firehouse.
Yeah.
Right when you get in town across the bridge.
August 3rd. The day after my birthday.
Yeah, and we're whatever you want to call it, raising money.
Yes.
And it all gets donated. We try to get women into houses and all that jazz. We also have T-shirts. They're Breaking the Chains T-shirts.
Yes.
On the back, it's in memory of my mom, but you can get in memory of whoever you want, or you don't have to get in memory of anything.
Yeah.
You can just get the Breaking the Chains shirt. And that's all part of it too. That all goes to it.
Yeah.
Now
I have a goal to sell 50 T-shirts, and I'm at 13. So 37.
Now, right now, it's all going to whoever we can find, whoever Jewel comes across that needs it. But when I get home, the events and the T-shirts and all that shit is going to go to funding us opening up our own recovery house. So I can't wait to get started on that, to start putting the money back into us and the way we want to do things.
Yeah.
So we can do our own thing, because I have some really ideal way. I have some things that I want to do things my way. So and I believe it will be very successful. I want the recovery house to be in Kenner Queen Anne's County, because we're in need of recovery houses.
I thought you
I
were
think we
in
got like,
Caroline before.
or Carolina, it don't matter.
'Cause we don't have
Anywhere that's
anything in
local,
Caroline. We don't have any.
anywhere that's
I know in Queen Anne's County, I know of at least one they have, and I know they have one in Kent County. But we don't have anything here in Caroline County. And I feel
well, I know
like,
that when I
go ahead.
go ahead.
I feel like
Nah, go
women's
ahead.
house is something that we could trademark. Probably isn't the right word. You know what I mean? But we could get one open and running and do that for a few years, and then possibly open another one in another location. You know what I mean? We'd have to get staff or somebody at that point to help, but that's my hope, is that it'll grow into something that we can spread around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was just thinking, looking at the numbers, probably what you would have made this year, we could have probably opened it. So it's gonna happen.
We would have had a good start before. But these
Yes, but it's
events, they're only going to get better. You know what I mean? We raised $4,000. $4,000.
and anybody,
Last year,
and I want to make it,
700.
and I want to make a disclaimer too to anybody that comes out to the events, any type of vendors, remember why you're there.
Yeah.
You're there to help your community.
Yep.
You're there to give back. We spend so much time taking. How much do we give back? You're there to give back.
Yeah.
And you might think to yourself, well, this doesn't really impact my life. Well, it does, because it impacts your community.
Yeah.
And when your community suffers, you should take it personal.
Yeah.
I know I do, because I remember when my community had life. I remember when my town had life. I remember when, people hung out and got together and did shit. And now the more you look, the more it's just kids that I grew up with that I never thought, and people that are younger than me, 18, 17, 16, 21, ODing, dying.
Yeah.
There's no life in that. There's a lot of death in it. And we need to get those people help.
I want to add a note. I tagged Breaking the Chains in the description of this video. So if you're interested in buying a t-shirt, or you're interested about the events, or, kind of what we're trying to start and get going, you can just click the Breaking the Chains and it'll take you to the page. It's got, like I said, it's got all the information for the t-shirts on there. You can get them in women's cut. They come up to sizes 4XL. Even if you're not local, I can ship you a shirt if you're interested in supporting the cause. So all the profits from the t-shirts are going to Midshore Restoring Hope in Women, which is a local nonprofit that serves the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And they basically just help fund women get into recovery housing. Here, is this what you want? So, come here.
And I know, like me, I know most of the people. When I was in rehab, I know most of the people that transitioned to recovery houses, they had to go across the bridge.
The voice of
And
in the video.
I don't feel like, that. I don't feel like they should have to go across the bridge just to get into a good recovery
That's
house.
what I had to do. 9 years ago, we didn't have. I think the only place they had over here was in Salisbury, and I used in Salisbury, so I knew going to Salisbury wasn't going to do me no good. So I had to go to Edgewood, which is 2.5 hours away from here. And don't get me wrong, it was a great house. It was a great opportunity for me. It really taught me how to live life again on life's terms. Like last night, Shaver said, "What things didn't you like?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, there really wasn't much that I didn't like. I didn't like, they did these, we went to a huge church. We had to go to church on Sundays. Not that I don't think religion should be part of someone's recovery, but I don't want to force religion on anyone. So that's one thing. And they would make us go to they would have big women's church events or whatever. We had to go to those, so I didn't like those either. So, but.
And I just think I think it makes a statement when you open a recovery house in your community in a small, country, little tight-knit community.
Yeah.
And it says something. It says, we care, and there's a place here for you that you can feel at home, that you don't have to go away and feel like you're by yourself
Well, it might be
and your family doesn't have to drive 2 hours to come see you and all that shit. You know what I mean?
and some people don't have that option. You know what I mean? I was in the house with a girl who was from Salisbury. So it would literally take her mom almost 4 hours to get there. So her mom didn't come visit that much. You know, my mom came as often as she could, but it was easier for her, you know. We need one in Franklin County. I don't know where that's at. That's not in Maryland. I want to say to anybody that's watching, feel free to send us a friend request. Also, we're going to try and go live a couple times a week. We know that going live every day is not realistic for us. It burns us out. So we're going to try and go a couple days a week. We're not going to have a set schedule because that never works for us. But you can always like click, you know, to get notifications for when we go live. So.
Or you can always watch the replay.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, you can add us and inbox us. If you watch a video that we're not live in and you have a question or a concern, you know, we're open to all communication. So
yeah. And topics, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, let us know and we'll try to work those in as well. I have Kelly Holiday, I can't remember if it was her, I can't remember who it was, but Kelly Holiday came to the event and she nominated a newcomer. And she won the newcomer basket, the lady that she nominated. And I have her stuff. One of them is one of the blue books. So I was going to go, I want to look through it, Joe, because it might give us some ideas of things to talk about too. I have one somewhere of my own. I just don't know where it's at.
I got my mom, so, but I think I put it in storage.
Well, I have an AA book and an NA book. So we can.
Because I didn't want to lose it.
Okay, well, I feel like we should wrap up because I have to get ready to go here in a few minutes. So.
Yeah, I gotta go too because I gotta get Leanna ready and we got a doctor's appointment to go to. So
I'm so excited.
finally,
yeah, I'm excited. All good vibes.
when the baby's gonna come out.
Yeah. I hope she slips and tells you what you're having.
See if we make it. If we can make it.
Yeah. I told her.
It feels like it's gonna be a lot sooner. I don't know. We'll see, but
yeah. Well, it probably feels that way too because you guys have been through a lot these last couple weeks, so it's put a lot more stress on her body. So I told her to make sure to ask if it's okay for you guys to fly the first weekend of May. So please don't forget to ask, because I was gonna set a reminder.
yeah,
What?
We'll ask.
Okay, good. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching us today. Remember, you can send us a friend request. You can click to get notified when we go live. We have a Breaking the Chains support group also that Nashira Short shared the link to. Let me see if I can pin it. Okay. And then also for the t-shirts and the event information, if anybody's interested, you can find that on the Breaking the Chains page. I need to share that info into the group too. I forgot to do it. So. All right, guys. Have an awesome Monday.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.